Curtis, and the title of my performance is It's All Greek to Me, taking a stand for the notation of pi. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. It was the age of irrationality, the age of reasoning. It was the season of pi. Ah, hello. Call me Euler, Leonard Euler. People say I'm one of the best mathematicians of all time, but I don't like to brag. However, one of my most famous contributions to the field of mathematics was to popularize the symbol pi as to describe the ratio of a circle's circumference to its diameter. William Jones was the one who introduced the notation, but I'm the one who made it popular. Jones and I took a stand to introduce and promote the use of the Greek letter pi to denote the ratio of a circle's circumference to its diameter. Because of our stand, the ratio is more convenient to be used in other formulas. The constant is more popular with new applications, and interest in the field of mathematics has increased. Let me give you some history. Intensive calculations of pi started about 250 BC in ancient Greece with a man named Archimedes. Take an n-sided polygon, like a hexagon for instance, and draw a circle inside the hexagon, the polygon, such that the circle touches each of the sides once. If you continually increase the number of sides of the polygon, the perimeter of the polygon will approach the circumference of the circle. Using 96-sided polygons, I've determined that this circular ratio is in between 3 1/7 and 3 10/71. As time progressed, more and more people began to find new ways of calculating pi. But they realized that pi needed a name, but no one really stepped up to the plate. They just used fractions such as 22/7, or a letter such as C or P. Then came along a man named William Jones, a school teacher from Wales. There seemed to be a bit of confusion concerning the circular ratio's notation. I wanted there to be a definitive constant to denote this ratio. I believed that this ratio exhibited certain characteristics that in future times would be proven, but as of the current time had yet to be discovered. Searching for a constant that would match my ideals, I turned to the Greek alphabet. I decided that pi would be an appropriate symbol to match this constant, and published my choice in Synopsis Calendarum Matheseus. However, at the time, Jones was not a prominent mathematician. Although his name for the ratio had merit, it was noticed and accepted by few. Then I came along 30 years later. I found Jones's work and decided that this would be a good notation for the number. I then published my work in Synopsis, in Introductio in Analysis Infinitorium. How does a number, circular, and ratio and form, now a constant thought about in many different instances all around the world in mathematics, engineering, in the nation, happen to get a chance for new notation? Here's a new scholar, Leonard Euler. He comes along and he finds some older work by William Jones earlier, pushed for change his voice bolder, grabbed the sign of Greek letter, and he wrote it in the lists in 1736. Well, the word got around that this number had a name now, bringing fame, convenience, and no mention of its brother town. His constant's transcendental and irrational too. Just look at all that it can do. What's its name, man? This number will be known as pi. Oh yes, this number will be known as pi. There's a million things we'll use it for. Just you wait, just you wait. With this introduction of notation, there came a sense of convenience. Formulas, equations, calculating, and publishing were all much easier to use, compare, and define. I mean, sure, others could have used their own letters to denote this ratio, but think of how confusing that would be. When you're calculating circular arc length, does the C stand for circular, when you're calculating circular movement, does the C stand for circular arc length? No, 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 C stands for the circular ratio. Ugh, this is so frustrating. See what I mean? And looking forward in time, there are even more reasons to be grateful for this notation. There are many diverse ways that pi is used in the real world. Radio signaling uses pi to calculate the distance, the length of radio waves, and thus frequencies to attune to. Global navigationing uses pi to calculate the distance between points on the globe due to the fact that the Earth is a spheroid. Cars, architecture, and probability all use pi and are some of the many different diverse ways that pi is used in the real world. Along with the sense of convenience, there came not only convenience, but popularity. There are several examples of renown that proceed in today's society. Pi Day is one of the foremost. Occurring on March 14th, the symbol and the constant are revered in several ways. Pi art is common in whether pictorials of the symbol or digit poetry. People stuff themselves eating several flavors of pie or so you can memorize the most digits of pi. And this is not all. These activities are not restricted to Pi Day alone. Math fanatics and regular people, too, are posting pi-related puns and puzzles, with growing interest in this ratio increasing daily. It's simply fantastic. I mean, it's not that like there was a new constant or anything, it's just that pi was suddenly easier to use and calculate. I mean, it's so much more simple when there's a unified standard of use. To quote the mathematician William L. Schaff, probably no symbol in mathematics has evoked such mystery, romanticism, human misconception, and human interest in the number pi. And if you start to look around, you start to notice a general increase in interest in mathematics. People are starting to understand that math isn't as hard as it looks. It just needs a little simplification. And with the notation of the circular ratio as pi, isn't that what we're doing? By building a bridge between the mathematical world and the general society, people are starting to realize that math isn't this inaccessible world with strange and frightening ideas. All it is notation upon notation, building block upon building block, and ideas upon ideas. It's quite fascinating what all of this can do for the interest in mathematics. There come several questions against this topic, however. Some wonder why pi is such a number in the first place. Others wonder why all of this mathematical mumbo-jumbo needs to be addressed anyway. To answer the first question first, as I said earlier, pi is used in literally hundreds of different ways. From geometry to statistics, from physics to topology, from calculus to quantum theory. There are hundreds of topics that I could go over for hours, but this is not the time and place. As for the second question, well, I'm pretty sure mankind would survive if they didn't know the equations involving spherical harmonics. The truth is, mankind are curious. They're always seeking to expand their knowledge and look for change, whether it be with a paintbrush and an easel, with a voice and determination, or with a pencil, paper, and a few numbers. Mathematics is one of the many facets that channel human creativity. Throughout the ages, it has been built upon, creating a giant ship in which to sail to the limits of human knowledge. With the stand of Jones and I, we've implemented a bridge to connect to the general society and a sort of figurehead to guide future mathematicians to whatever secrets and knowledge arise. Jones and I took a stand to introduce and advocate the use of the Greek letter pi as the name for the ratio of a circle's circumference to its diameter. Because of our stand, the ratio is more convenient to be used in other formulas. The constant is more popular with new applications, and interest in the field of mathematics have increased.